There is a name in history that is synonymous with enigmatic genius, unbridled ambition, and the harsh truth of human nature. Niccolò Machiavelli. His name alone conjures images of manipulation. But what if the greatest lessons we can learn from him are not about hurting others, but about protecting ourselves and our vision?
We will move beyond the myth of the evil chancellor. We will examine the story of a man who was tortured, exiled, and utterly failed, only to emerge with the clearest understanding of power and human behavior ever written. It is a story of radical realism, a ruthless love of history that enables you to succeed without being naive. Our goal is simple: to use Machiavelli's clarity to build a shield around our positive goals, to understand the political realities of life, work, and family, not to exploit them, but to navigate them with integrity and effectiveness. Machiavelli's story is rooted in the glorious, yet brutal, politics of 16th century Florence. For 14 years, he served the Republic of Florence as a high-ranking diplomat. This was his golden age. He was brilliant, effective, and fiercely loyal to his state. His job wasn't theoretical. He negotiated treaties, observed the most ruthless leaders of the time, men like Cesare Borgia, and helped organize the Florentine militia. He saw firsthand how the most well-intentioned leaders were destroyed by harsh reality, and how the most effective leaders were those who understood human weakness. Then came the day that shattered his world, 1512. The powerful Medici family returned to Florence. Machiavelli, a symbol of the old republic, was instantly suspected of conspiracy. His fate was swift and agonizing. He was imprisoned and subjected to the strapado, a method of torture where his arms were tied behind his back and he was repeatedly hung from the ceiling. His body broke, but his intellect remained intact. After weeks, he was released, politically ruined, impoverished, and exiled to his small farm outside the city. Integrity is forged in the throes of loss. His commitment to his principles was put to the test in practice, proving that true effectiveness stems from a core that cannot be broken by external pain. Exiled to his isolated farm, Machiavelli faced the ultimate self-improvement challenge: relevance. A man who lived for statecraft was now irrelevant. This dark period wasn't wasted on self-pity. He turned it into a mental furnace. Every day, he would physically work the farm, but every evening, he would transform. He would put on his courtly robes, enter his study, and converse with the greatest thinkers of antiquity. He wrote, "I enter the ancient courts of ancient men, where, received by them with affection, I feed on the food that alone is mine and that I was born for." Out of this deep intellectual solitude came The Prince. This book is not a handbook for evil. It is a desperate, stark manual for survival, written by a man who had seen the worst of politics and wanted the good, effective leader to be prepared. He was not writing a manual on how to be bad. He was dissecting why good intentions so often collapse when confronted by real-world malice. His purpose was not to glorify deception, but to understand it, to expose the mechanisms by which it corrupts and undermines the virtuous. Such understanding is not cynicism, it is awareness. To know the nature of the threat is to recognize it, to anticipate it, and ultimately to neutralize it, without ever becoming what you oppose. True wisdom does not shy away from darkness. It studies it so that light may act with precision, not naivety. Machiavelli is often seen as a teacher of manipulation, but that's a shallow reading of a man who simply dared to describe reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. His insights weren't meant to corrupt the good. They were meant to protect them. Today, in a world where leadership demands both empathy and strategy, his principles hold timeless value if we understand them correctly. So let's break down 3 of Machiavelli's most misunderstood ideas and uncover how, when applied ethically, they can make you not just a more effective leader, but a wiser and more self-aware human being. Because leadership isn't about control, it's about clarity. And when you truly understand how power, perception, and integrity work together, you don't just survive the system, you rise above it. Machiavelli once said, "Men are much more ready to offend him who makes himself loved than him who makes himself feared." At first, it sounds cold, almost cruel. But look closer and you'll see he wasn't praising fear. He was exposing a truth about human nature that every good person needs to understand if they want to thrive. The message isn't be harsh, it's be solid. Don't build your strength on the shifting sand of other people's approval. Because love that depends on comfort fades when things get difficult, but respect that comes from competence, discipline, and integrity lasts. When you rely too much on being liked, you give others silent permission to decide your worth. But when you ground yourself in skill, self-respect, and consistency, you become unshakable. You don't need to demand respect, it naturally follows. So yes, be kind, but let your kindness stand on a foundation of strength. Be warm, but also dependable. Be the person people can trust when things fall apart. That's not manipulation, that's maturity. And it's how you stop being controlled by the moods of others and start leading your own life with quiet power. Machiavelli emphasized the importance of appearing virtuous, a statement often mistaken for hypocrisy. In truth, he was highlighting a crucial reality of leadership. Integrity must be both genuine and visible. Virtue, when concealed or poorly communicated, loses its power to inspire trust and influence outcomes. In modern organizations, this means that good intentions alone are not enough. Your ethical actions, strategic decisions, and commitment to excellence must be clearly perceived by others. When integrity is not communicated, it is easily misunderstood. When it is not demonstrated publicly, others may fill that silence with their own assumptions. Authenticity and communication are not opposites, they are partners. To lead effectively, you must express your principles through consistent behavior, transparent decisions, and clear messaging. Visibility is not vanity, it is strategic clarity. By ensuring that your values are seen as well as held, you protect your reputation, strengthen trust within your organization, and give your mission the credibility it deserves. Integrity that is visible does not compromise authenticity, it amplifies it. Machiavelli taught that success is shaped by two forces: fortuna, the unpredictable element of luck and circumstance, and vert, the discipline, skill, and inner strength that allow us to act decisively. He believed that while fortune may control half of life, the other half is firmly in our hands. The message is not to surrender to chance, but to prepare for it. You cannot predict every opportunity or obstacle that life will present, but you can train yourself to respond with competence, confidence, and courage when it does. Fortune rewards those who are ready, not those who wait. In practice, this means continuously sharpening your abilities, deepening your understanding, and strengthening your mindset even when nothing lucky seems to be happening. Because when opportunity finally appears, it doesn't pause for you to catch up. It passes quickly, and only those who have cultivated vert can seize it fully. Don't waste time wishing for perfect timing or better luck. Build yourself into the kind of person who can turn any moment into an opening. That's how you take control of the 50% you can influence, and often, that's enough to shift your entire destiny. Luck is not magic, it's preparation meeting its moment.